different room, innit? That's because I'm in my office. And anyway, yeah, I like the office. It's nice. Anyway, horror movie collection part 2. Sorry it's taken a few days, but it's because we had no internet connection. But it's back on now, and let's continue. So, first one from the pile is this version of Land of the Dead. Now, I've got two versions right here. This is just a normal version. Well, actually, no. They're both the normal versions. This one is the limited edition artwork version because it celebrates 100 years of Universal. This is on the back there. Those are all the available artwork pictures. They're all double-sided. I'll show you real quick. There's the case. And there's the disc. It's exactly the same DVD as this one. And it's like whenever I would watch the film, I would then pick from a different artwork. So I think I'll choose this one. But yeah, Land of the Dead. It was an alright film. It was good to see Romero come back and come back on a like a big scale budget. But yeah, Land of the Dead, I'd say it's the best one out of the new Dead trilogy. And here's the other edition that I own of Land of the Dead. Next up, I have two editions of Diary of the Dead. One's a steelbook limited version, and one is just a regular single disc version. Here's the single version. I kind of knew that Romero would go along the lines of like a hidden found footage type thing, but definitely not the best one. Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of this one. Kind of reminded me of Quarantine, but yeah. Here's the steelbook version, and there's its limited number. And the smart work behind there, I'll show you. I wasn't even aware that they made a steelbook version of this. I just found it. But yeah, I wasn't even aware. But I like the fact that it's got all the zombies on the front cover. So that's a nice addition. I've only got one version of Survival of the Dead. Tell a lie. No, I haven't. I've got it on Blu-ray as well. This is probably my second favourite in the new trilogy. I'd say the only thing I didn't like about this was the fact that the zombie was riding a horse. And I was like, what the fuck? But it isn't too bad as everyone says it is. I mean, it says on the back, Romero's best zombie film since Dawn of the Dead. Sorry, but I disagree. Romero's best zombie film ever is Day of the Dead. I still think that film is amazing. I think just Joe Pilato as Captain Rhodes just sold that film. He stole the show in that film. But Survival of the Dead isn't too bad. It's not a bad film. Not a bad film. I'm going to have to review the whole Dead series soon. Okay. Now we've come to the remakes. Night of the Living Dead. This is a case where the remake is better than the original. But this is a really good DVD actually. It's got a great documentary of the making of the film. And because the film was directed by Tom Savini, Tom describes how he wanted to make the film as his own. Because originally Romero wanted Tom to do the special makeup effects for the original Night of the Living Dead, but he had to go away to Vietnam. And then when George called him to do this one, George was like, you know, I want you to work on the remake. And Tom was like, oh yeah, maybe I could do some special effects. And George was like, no, I want you to direct it. And that was Tom's chance to like make it his own. And I thought that really worked. And this film is incredible, I think. It's a classic. It's a classic remake. Although I don't think that term has never been used before, but it is a great film. Dawn of the Dead. A lot of people say this is better than the original. No, it's not. I don't know why I said no like that, but I don't think it is. And don't get me wrong, it is a good film. I do like it, but I don't think it's better than the original. I just think the original's a classic. It's untouchable. But I like to think of it as its own film. If it was called something other than Dawn of the Dead, and it didn't take place in a shopping mall, I think then it would have been better. But because it's got Dawn of the Dead attached to it and everything like that, then you know. But there's no characters in this or anything that are from the original film. Not even the same names. But it's a good film. It is a good film. I'm not going to bash it at all because it's got Down with the Sickness on it as its soundtrack for the main menu and the credits. And Down with the Sickness was by Disturbed, and Disturbed is my favourite band of all time. So that's why I'm definitely not going to bash it. But it's a brilliant film. I'm supposed to be reviewing the DVDs, but I'm reviewing the actual films. Right, Day of the Dead, the remake. No, I really couldn't get into this one. I will give it another watch when I can and tell you what I think. But so far, no, I don't like it. I really don't. I'm doing what Peter said. I really don't. Dawn of the Dead, Peter. Yeah, don't like it. And again, in Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, the zombies are fast paced in the two remakes. Flesh Eater, this is a different one. This is the return of Bill Heinzman, the cemetery zombie from Night of the Living Dead. In other countries, this was known as Revenge of the Living Dead. But I think Flesh Eater is a better name, I think. But for quite a low budget film, this has one of the best soundtracks. I love the soundtrack, it's so eerie. But it is a good film, I do like it. I love independent horror films because they inspire me to go out and make my own. That's why I love independent horror films, so this one is a keeper. Flesh Eater. And I think Bill Heinzman directed this one as well. Okay, tell a lie. He directed it, edited it, and produced it. Top notch. Shame he died. Here's Zombie Flesh Eaters. Classic film, absolutely classic. 1 second. Just turn my heater off because it's getting way too hot in here. Zombie Flesh Eaters. Brilliant film, absolutely love this. I must get this on Blu-ray. Yeah, defo. Again, shame that Lucio Fulci died because I reckon he still would have kept making these gory films. Zombie Flesh Eaters has some iconic scenes. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing watching this video? Go and watch it. Instant classic, I think. But again, this had a lot of continuity differences because in other countries it was known as Zombie or Zombie 2, that's ZOMBI. And then Zombie Flesh Eaters 2 would then become Zombie Flesh Eaters 3. And then it was just, you know, so. Zombie Holocaust. Whenever I display Zombie Flesh Eaters on the shelf, I'll put this next to it because it has, what's his name? Ian. It's the guy who played Peter in Zombie Flesh Eaters. The actor's named Ian. can't remember his I really can't remember his second name. But Zombie Holocaust, it is messed up. I mean, it is really messed up. I really can't get into this film. It's I would say it's kind of similar because they're on an island, and you know, there's a doctor and everything. So Zombie Flesh Eaters and Zombie Holocaust are pretty similar, but yeah, this is a messed up film. Definitely messed up. Here's a popular one which I need to see the sequel to, Dead Snow. Norwegian zombie film. Really, really good. Lots of gore. Quite funny at times because of the idiotic characters and their stupid quotes and everything. But quotes, more like dialogue. But Dead Snow, yeah. Great film. And again, independent film. Yeah, independent film, but became so popular. Alright, here's two right now. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 and Return of the Living Dead Part 3. I've still got the stickers on them. Return of the Living Dead Part 2, I really enjoyed this film. I was going to say I would go as far as to say I like it better than the first one. Not really. But it is a really good film. And it's like you can't kill the zombies. You shoot them in the head, it does nothing. You put rain over them. Well, if it rains, that just makes it even worse. You know, it just resurrects them even more. You burn them. Obviously that makes it worse because all the I guess their soul goes into the air and then it resurrects more. But this was a blind buy because I'd never seen this film before, and I loved it because Tarman's in it again, and he's the zombie that goes brains, you know, and really good film, really good film. Return of the Living Dead Part 3. On the back it says, scarier than Hellraiser. Disagree. I disagree. Hellraiser is on a totally different level than this. This one's really... I, again, can't get into this one. It's very, different. It's basically about the guy, or this guy, who falls in love with a girl who then becomes a zombie, and then she starts putting glass in her face and spikes, as you can see on the cover there. It is just really, really weird. But I do need to give this one another watch, I think. Okay, so I think I've only seen it once, because it's just been on the shelf collecting dust. So, I need to pop that one in again. Okay, we're getting down to the last few now. Flight of the Living Dead, Outbreak on a Plane. Again, I need to watch it again to give my full thoughts on it, but from what I gathered, it's okay. It's different. It's a lot like Snakes on the Plane, but zombies on a plane. Plane? Yeah, it's alright, I guess. Here's a good one. Resident Evil Degeneration. I would go as far to say this is better than the actual Resident Evil films, the live action films, because this is based off the games. There was also a sequel to this film, Resident Evil Damnation, I believe it was called. But this has a really good opening. I love the opening scene in the airport, and like all the zombies invade the airport. But really good film. Really good. And because the film was made by Capcom as well as the games, I kind of wish Capcom would release a CG Dead Rising movie. I think that would be awesome. But yeah, really good film. Speaking of Dead Rising, here's Dead Rising Watchtower. This has to be the best zombie film I've seen so far. This film is amazing. It is so good. The camera shots are good. The cinematography, everything about it is just brilliant. I think the director did a great job on this. It pretty much does follow the same concept of the game, but it has a good twist ending as well, and I like that. And the psychopaths in it, they're great. Zombies are great. Rob Riggle, is it? Yeah, Rob Riggle, who plays Frank West. I think he does an amazing job as Frank West. Hopefully we shall see him in the sequel, which they are working on right now. I think it will come out this year, actually. But yeah, Dead Rising Watchtower, absolutely great film. And one of the main psychopaths in this film, named Logan, the actor who plays him, one of the best characters in the film, I think. I think he just sold it. And it does have combo weapons in the film as well. Like you can see there, the sledge, saw. I would say it's based more around Dead Rising 3 because it's in the city. But yeah, Dead Rising Watchtower, love that film. And the last two that I'm going to hold up, or last three I should say, Apocalypse of the Dead. This is the best low budget zombie film that went straight to DVD. That didn't have an international release. This is great. Again, independent zombie film with Ken Foree, who played Peter in the original Dawn of the Dead. But yeah, I love this film. Considering that it's very independent, I think the plot's original, and I think it's pretty good. Actually, no, the plot's not original. It's not original, but I think it's good. After the night, after the dawn, after the day, comes an epic fight for survival in the realm of the undead. Ooh. And you got the zombies on there. Bit of trivia, actually. Stolen artwork is on this cover. One of the zombies from Shaun of the Dead is on this cover. Let me see. Right there. That zombie there is a zombie from Shaun of the Dead, where Shaun's by the Winchester and the crowd of zombies are just watching him. It's one of the zombies. I spotted it out. But Apocalypse of the Dead, really good independent zombie film. Love this one. Children of the Living Dead. It ain't bad, I suppose. It's not bad at all. I forgot to mention that Apocalypse of the Dead is also known as Zone of the Dead. But Children of the Living Dead isn't... Meh, it's alright, I suppose. But, say it time and time again, I don't care what. That zombie right there is awesome. One of the best looking zombies I've seen for a low budget zombie film. 30 years later and they're walking again. Tom Savini's in this one, but he's not in it very long because he dies. There's a quote on the back that says, "Bred from the creators of the classic horror Night of the Living Dead comes the long-awaited sequel." Okay. Never understood that. But there's Children of the Living Dead. It's okay. Yeah, it's part of my collection. It's okay. I did a review on that film years ago. And the last zombie film that I'm going to hold up is one of the greats, Shaun of the Dead. Hell of a lot better than Zombieland. Zombieland was a piece of shit, and I don't want it part of my collection. Shaun of the Dead, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. An instant classic, an instant cult classic. This is the smartest, funniest British comedy for ages. I agree. This film, when I first saw it, again, this was a blind buy as well. I had never seen this before. And then I bought it years ago and I watched it all the way through twice. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I might watch it tonight, actually, because I haven't seen it in quite a while. Shaun of the Dead. Classic. And I love, since then, I love the films with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. You had Hot Fuzz, you had The World's End, and then you had Paul. This one was directed by Edgar Wright, so was Hot Fuzz and World's End. Paul was not, but it was still a great film. Shaun of the Dead. So that's it for my horror DVD collection, part number, what is this now, 2. The next part we will be moving on from the zombie films, and we'll be going into, other horror films, but there won't be zombie films. So yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 3.